Coulter, you know her, conservative columnist, and she's been in the news a lot in the last couple of days. Ann, good morning. Thanks for joining us today from Florida. Tell us what happened on board this Delta flight.
Well, it was before boarding. I'd picked out the seat I wanted. I was in the waiting area, boarding area for 90 minutes, and then as I was boarding, the ticket agent snatched the ticket out of my hand and said, "No, we've given you a different seat." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Emergency." And I went onto the plane. I took the seat that was originally mine because it was empty. And then, no, the seats filled up. A woman came back. Stewardess asked for our tickets, and I said, well, this was the seat I booked, but they moved me to another seat I don't want. And she said, you have to move. And I said, but why? And she said, I don't know. And it was not an elderly person, a sickly person, a very tall person. I wasn't asked, and it's been 3 days now, and Delta still hasn't gotten given an explanation, much less an apology. Moreover, they are snarking and being very snippy on Twitter. I was tweeting about it on the way home. I couldn't do it on the plane because there was no Wi-Fi on Delta. But they just won't say why. They say it was inadvertently given away. Inadvertent. No, you have to go into a computer and change the ticket and print out 2 new ones. That's not inadvertent.
And Ann, you paid $30 to have that extra leg room, and they moved you to a seat without it? Is that true? That's what the articles are saying. That's false?
No, I know. No, this is the only reason I don't like doing satellite TV. It's so much more fun when I'm in studio with people. It's much easier. But they're lying so much about this, and that was one of the snarky tweets they sent out. Oh, we're refunding your $30. No, it's not about the $30. You gave me a more cramped seat. Apparently, Delta isn't familiar with its own aircraft. As a frequent flyer, I am. And on the right side of aisle 15, you have a lot more legroom. It's a good seat. There's a reason I went on and at Delta's invitation picked this particular seat. They won't explain why they took the seat that I picked from me.
Ann, you had the extra legroom seat and they gave you another seat. Was it an extra legroom seat or was it the regular
It was,
coach?
but not as much.
Okay.
It was, but not as much. That's what I'm telling you. Aisle 15, I hate to be giving away frequent flyer secrets, but aisle 15 on this particular Airbus, less legroom, it was window seat, not an aisle seat, and this snippiness about, oh, we're refunding your $30. No, that isn't the point. Why won't you explain what happened? Why didn't anyone explain to me at the time? Why didn't you ask me to move? As I say, you know, I'd be perfectly happy to move for an old person, for an air marshal. Very clearly, that wasn't this. That's why I took a picture of the passenger, because I knew Delta would lie about it, and of the stewardess, because I knew they'd say, we have no idea what you're talking about. They're just they've been unbelievably arrogant.
Here's the tweet storm that's going back and forth. You said this originally at Delta, didn't give me my extra room seat to an air marshal for a tall person. Here's the woman given my pre-booked seat, and of course, there you took a picture of her. And then you added this tweet, just when you think it's safe to fly again, the worst airline in America is still Delta. And then?
Delta employee questionnaire. What is your ideal job? Prison guard, animal handler, policeman, all of the above? Hired.
And I've got a feeling you may not go back. Here's Delta. We are sorry you did not receive the preferred seat you paid for and will refund your $30. Additionally, your insults about our other customers and employees are unacceptable and unnecessary, Delta tweeted back. So obviously there are some hurt feelings here. It doesn't sound like you're ever going to be flying a Delta again.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be flying much longer. Did you see their stock collapsed yesterday? Look, they may think this is very witty to be firing back at me on Twitter after behaving rudely again, no explanation, no apology, just here, you have to move for this other person. What is the reason for that? I mean, they've had 4 days to investigate. Why did they do this? It's not like, yes, it's not the worst thing in the world, but is it that hard for Delta employees to simply be polite and simply give passengers the seat that they booked? Is that such a high hurdle at Delta that, oh, we can't be expected to do this? I didn't insult their employees. I admit I did insult the airline, but I insulted them really by describing what they did. That was the big insulting thing. No, you shouldn't describe how you were treated on our airline. That's an outrage.
Well, after appearing today and the tweets as well, maybe Delta will get back to you today, and if they do, let us know what they say, would you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see how this ends. All right, Ann, thank you very much for joining us today from Florida.
Thanks, Ann.
No health care.
Sorry, we were talking all about the Delta seat.
Satu lagi poin terakhir tadi dalam hasil rapat poin